A woman in Volga with a special connection overseas through a stem cell transplant is hosting the beneficiary of her donation for the week. Both view their relationship as an extension of their families. Parker Brown has our top story tonight.
I really feel like we were blessed beyond measure.
You may have heard of the phrase, family isn't always blood related. Two at this reunion were connected by something bigger. Mary Bjerke signed up with Be the Match back in 2002. In 2009, Bjerke got a call that she was a potential match with a 20-year-old woman with leukemia. That was all she was told at that time.
Connecting medical technology and spanning oceans to save lives is something I never would have imagined possible.
Over in Germany, Steffi Duelz was fighting for her life. They struggled to find a match for her. In September, Steffi was given a fighting chance with a stem cell transplant from a donor unknown to her.
17th of September. Yeah, that's my second birthday from this point on. Me and my whole family were so happy that we have one person in the world who has these stem cells to protect my life and save my life.
With gratitude, Steffi and her family planned to reach out as soon as they were allowed to.
This was actually the first letter that I received.
They were able to visit each other for the first time in Germany in 2012. Since then, they've shared special moments, attending Steffi's wedding, introducing family, and adding another miracle, Steffi has since given birth to a daughter, despite doctors saying she would be unable to.
Mama, Johanna.
Her name is Johanna Mary.
This was a really, really big surprise, and it was so amazing when we get the information that I'm pregnant.
The Bjerkes now have 4 grandchildren plus 1. Their families brought together by stem cells, not blood. And despite a language barrier, it truly is a perfect match.
I can't even explain it, but there's a special bond we have. We don't have so much communication the whole year, but when we meet, it's like, yeah, we know each other our whole life. It's really like family.
It's just been a remarkable journey that I'm blessed to have been a part of.
In Volga, Parker Brown, Dakota News Now.